Hi folks, Buffin here with your Antifa News Briefa for September 5th, 2021. This is a continuation of the one about eugenics. I don't really want to talk about eugenics in this one because it's Nazi stuff. I got bogged down with that in the last one. Came up because in a show called On the Media on NPR today, they were interviewing Lulu Miller, author of Why Fish Don't Exist, and she was talking about eugenics at the start. Then she was talking about order, classification, order. She had a lot of interesting things to say about suspending your intuition. To say if you suspend your intuition or what you think you know, if you question yourself and your presumptions about things, then you can open yourself up to discoveries. And it's like kind of like a magical practice. Now, the way she started describing it in the excerpt she read from her book, I was like, is she just talking about tripping in the woods? Because that can open up your perspective to things, like using psychedelics in the woods. But she's talking about being in the woods and suspending her intuition is what she called it, or your kind of prejudgment or ideas about things, your associations about things, to experiencing things in a new way. It's a very good practice to have. You don't have to be in the woods to do it. You can just be trying something and open your mind to it. Try to open your mind instead of closing your mind, reacting to things that bother you. Now, of course, I'm reacting to a lot of things that bother me, fascist things, but I've spent a lot of time thinking about that. Those are appropriate to react badly to, which is why I want to leave them out of this video. You can watch my previous video about that and talk about the good things she was saying. Because this suspending your judgment, being open to questioning things is a magical practice and a great thing to do. And there's a reason why it's like tripping in the woods. It's magic. And she was talking about the magic of it, how she discovered she was a lesbian and got married to a wonderful girl through the same practice of, let me question, why I question or jump to certain conclusions. Anyway, she also mentioned order is violence. And that's what I want to say something about. Because her whole book is about a classification system, which is a way of ordering things. But then she took it back to the etymology of order and said it comes from a Roman word from the loom, where it just applied to, strings on a loom to weave things, the order of strings on a loom. And then it became applied to military regimentation, this order of soldiers in an army. And then it became applied to more generally order. But that within that is all the, in her words, violence of order. And it makes me think about how much I appreciate chaos. And that brings me to probably the title of this video, Nazis in Your Knitting Group, because I was in the chaos magic community, Discordian community, these online Facebook, and some previous to that, some just online chat room type spaces. I was involved with these communities for years and kicked out of all the chaos magic groups on Facebook. Tension with the Discordians and Subgenius and stuff, depending on their bent. The problem is too many of them have been bent into fascism. You would think that chaos magic, Discordia, anti-order, anti-authoritarian things would always say purely anti-fascist, anti-racist, purely progressive agenda type of thing. Unfortunately, they got infested. They got taken over by, these kind of trolls or agents of fascists who twist things around and create, at least the online cultures on Facebook and stuff, a complete culture of fascism is accepted, anti-fascism is, bullied out and sneered at. And so that's why, they censor me, they delete my comments, they kick me out of these types of groups. This is Chaos Magic, CMG, it was called on Facebook. And generally, like entirely, because they've, the leadership or whatever, the elders of that community, if you want to call them that, the ones in charge of stuff are the fascists. They've taken control of that expression. And the thing is, these ideas like chaos magic, like fairy magic, like the random wonderfulness of everything, is awesome. Like Eris, the goddess of chaos, is awesome. Hail Eris. But it's not hail, like, oh, even that, like they brought in, the same terminology. So you have to watch out for these guys. And fascism, of course, is completely antithetical to chaos. Order is violent. Imposing order, maintaining order, especially when you have a racist system, maintaining the status quo is violent and evil and racist. So change, progress, randomness, novelty, psychedelics, all of these things, art, all of these things, magic, work together for a purpose to bring us to a good future. And they've infested it. Like the reason I call it Nazis in Your Knitting Circle is because they've infested every community they can with as much racism, sexism, stuff like that as they can. And maybe some of them don't tolerate too much, but they end up influencing so much, then they can peel people into deeper levels of their terrorist network of racist, sexist, fascists, Trump or Nazi, Taliban. I mean, it's all the same thing. It's all one big ball of wax. The good thing about it is we're reducing that ball of wax. We're melting it down, shaving it off, peeling people away from it, breaking people out of it, and getting them back to humanity. So that's what it's all about. And I wanted to thank Lulu Miller, is the author of Why Fish Don't Exist, because it was an insightful conversation. I didn't hear all of it, but as previously I said, I don't know if they mentioned Britney Spears or the fact that eugenics has always been directed against women, but we still have so much residuals of the same evil Nazi stuff that the Nazis took and then came back to America under Trump. And we need to rid our culture of it. And it's patriarchy, it's misogyny, it's racism, it's militarism. It's all these things that Martin Luther King called the three great evils: war, poverty, racism. We can eradicate it. We can work together for a society where everything's literally free and we all just get along and have a great time and work jobs that we enjoy or play things that we enjoy all the time. Like, you can see it. It's right around the corner. So let's get there and let's push this old stuff behind, and let's maybe renovate and redeem some of these communities, religious communities, whatever they are, to bring them back to the spirit of love and truth and justice and liberty that we're really all about, and certainly for America. Read my book, the book of Judas. Jesus predicted to Judas that we're going to have democracy at this time. This is the time that fits it, that we'll finally have democracy for the first time. But we need to help make that effort. We have to have faith that that's going to happen, see it happening, and then see our way to it. Thanks. See you soon.